Hello, welcome to Salt City Knits podcast. I'm Emily, and this is a podcast all about my making life. And today I have knitting to share with you. I think only knitting, yes. So it is episode 21, and it's October the 19th. It's a cloudy morning, so I'm hoping that lighting is going to be okay today. I don't have tons and tons to share today, but I'm excited to share a few things with you. So first off, I wanted to talk about the knit along that I'm hosting that is running through the end of this month. It's called the Salt City Knits Shawl Along, or SCK Shawl Along. So if you are knitting any shawls, even if you are participating or knitting or crocheting, I should say, any shawls, even if they are part of other knit alongs. We're going to go with that one. Then feel free to tag SCK Shawl Along, and I will be drawing prizes the first week of November. And yeah, so it's going to be exciting. Today I have a little bit of a life update, and I have 2 finished objects and 2 works in progress to share with you. And first off, let's talk about what I'm wearing. This cardigan is one that I knit last year, and it is called the Ivy line cardigan by, who is it by? Yoko Johnston. And I knit it in Dandelion and Dogwood. It's a fingering weight. I'm trying to remember what the name of the base is, but it's an 80/20 merino nylon in the colorway What's Eating Gilbert Grape. This was from their collection that was all like early 90s inspired. I think I do have a label actually for Dandelion and Dogwood. I should be able to, oh no, the one I have is their sparkle base label handy. So yep, I only have the fairy sock. So anyway, I'll look it up and I'll put it down below in the description box. But I really like this one, and it's nice because I still like how it looks on me with having lost some weight. So it's nice to have things that you can keep. That's been a hard thing in trying to not trying to decide. I mean, there is no decision to be made, but I'm obviously going to prioritize my health. But it's also kind of sad because I have a wardrobe full of beautiful, luckily mostly cardigans that I've knit for myself. And so there's that little twinge of like, oh, eventually I'm not going to be able to really wear these anymore. But right now I can still wear almost everything. Some of them, the shoulders just kind of don't, they don't quite fit right. But the great thing about a cardigan is an oversized cardigan is a great thing to have in your wardrobe. So it's good for now. And then we'll just see how things go. And my husband asked me, what are you going to do when you can't wear these anymore? What are you going to do with these? And I said, well, I think it just depends on the project. Some of those I will gift to somebody else who could use them. And some I will probably frog and reclaim the yarn and knit something else in it. So that's a great thing about yarn. You can do that. All right, life update. What's happened in the last week? It's been a pretty quiet week, which has been really nice, actually. I had to have a good chat with myself. I had to have a sit down, sat myself down and I said, okay, look, Emily, there is more to life than knitting and you have to have some more balance. I'm sure you've been in the same situation from time to time. And so I've been really working on setting better boundaries for myself and keeping my knitting to a reasonable level of time spent per day so that I can pursue lots of other things, because life is not all knitting, as much as it would be great if it was. So I've been a lot better at that the last week, and hence the fact that I don't have like 10 finished objects this week, so, which is good. That's good. My husband and I have been really experiencing this change in our I don't know, our family culture a lot because my kids are just getting older. I still have two children at home, my 15-year-old daughter and my 18-year-old son. But they are like the best of friends, and they have the same group of friends. And so they tend to do stuff together all the time with their friends. And so, I mean, it's not all the time, but it's really regularly, and where they're both gone. And so I'm just having a lot more time with that kind of empty nest feel, if that makes sense. And so it's just a difference. We're like finding our new evening kind of feel to things. This isn't like it happened overnight. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of settling in now that Heroic Youth has also calmed down for the year. You know, working with our nonprofit keeps us super busy. So we didn't have a lot of evenings open. And so to have evenings open and the kids gone and it not be a rarity, but to be like a lot more common, we're starting to find like, okay, what does our routine look like? What does it feel like? So yeah, that's been kind of a thing we've been talking about this last week. But I think it's just an adjustment, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying the time that the more time together. So that's really awesome. And then yesterday, my grandson and my daughter came over, and she had some things to work on. And she said, "Can I come over so I could work on these?" She was working on like some stuff on her computer and needed some help with holding Adam. I'm like, I'll volunteer for that any day. So we just hung out and played and snuggled, and it was lovely. So I got some time with him. So it's been nice and quiet, which has been excellent. Okay, let's talk about finished objects. I have two finished objects today, and they both go together. So months and months ago, I think probably before Adam was born. Yeah, it was before Adam was born. My daughter sent me a picture, and I'm inserting that picture here, of these little baby booty socks that she saw. And she said, "Do you think you could make these? Because their family is doing like, she and her husband and Adam are doing like a coordinated Halloween costumes, and they're doing Over the Garden Wall. And so Adam is going to be George Washington the Frog. I have actually never watched Over the Garden Wall, but I've seen the pictures and some pictures and things. And I know it's something my daughter really loves. And so she thought that those socks would work really well to be little froggy feet. So we did find the pattern, and here are the little socks. Look at those. Aren't they hilarious? And they're definitely meant for non-walking babies because they have that ridge down the bottom of them that would not be comfortable at all. Plus this free edge, you know, this kind of extra flappy edge here in the front that would be a tripping hazard. But this pattern is called Ducky or just Ducks. Hold on, let me look. I wrote down all my notes, but I keep forgetting to look at them. It's just called Duck, but they're the Duck, I'm going to call them Duck Baby socks. They're on Knitty, and they're by Jeny Staiman. And they are a free pattern on Knitty. They're one size, and actually they fit him really well. I was worried that they were going to be gigantic, but because it doesn't really matter if the foot fits, it's all about whether this fits. Because you want them to be flippery, you know, kind of floppy. And they fit him perfectly. So once he actually gets all dressed up in his costume, I will have to get a picture and I'll share that with you. These were the biggest pain to make. They were such a pain. They were so fiddly. And I think partially because I was doing things that I had never done before. So I don't knit toe-up socks. I mean, it's not that I'm anti toe-up socks. I don't like the bind-off edge. It's not my favorite. I really like the way a toe or a cuff down sock is finished. But so I just don't have experience with that. And this one you cast on just these tiny amounts of stitches, and then you have to increase, 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 but with casting on while you're doing that. These are not the tidiest stitches. If you look at my edge there, here, let's see, focus in there. It's not super awesome. It's actually quite loose. Okay, I don't know. Let's see if I can get it to, you can see that. Again, it's a Halloween costume for a baby, so I'm not overly stressed about it. It's fine. But these were so fiddly, just trying to figure out, and the pattern, I would say that it is detail oriented, but I just didn't, like, I couldn't picture it. I was struggling with it. And then you have this applied I-cord all here on this side and this side that makes this like ridge here and the little toe. And then all goes all along here. It was supposed to be bound off with I-cord, like closed up with I-cord, but I did a 3-needle bind off, and I prefer that right here. And then you knit the ribbing for the cuff, and I prefer that 3-needle bind off a lot. So I tried doing it the other way, but I just did not like how it looked. So anyway, it wasn't that they took forever to knit. It just was really hard for me to figure it out. I was like, what am I doing? This is so weird. Anyway, so I just have to say, I don't know that this is a beginner friendly pattern. It certainly wasn't super easy for me. But if you're really familiar with doing toe up socks, it might make more sense to you. So anyway, free pattern, little ducky socks that I've made in green. The yarn I used for these was it's an acrylic yarn bee. So a Hobby Lobby acrylic yarn. I will link below what the name of the base is. It's really more of a sport weight, but I knit it at a tight gauge. I knit it on smaller needles than what the pattern calls for in order to get kind of a denser fabric, because I wanted them to be, the picture in the pattern is looks a little loosey-goosey, loosey-ducky to me, and I wanted them to be nice and firm. So anyway, it's more of a sport weight, but I chose that because I wanted to find yarn that was both fine enough for this project, and then also a bulky yarn for the next project that were the same color, because they go together. And oh, hold on, dropping things again. I made this froggy hat. Isn't that the cutest thing? Oh my goodness. This was a blast to make. It worked up super fast. It's called Frog Hat by Amy Grace. And again, I'll put links to everything down below in the description box. But this was really fun, quick knit. Again, this was in a Yarn Bee chunky weight, but it was great because they're the same color. So that worked out really well. Let's see, what can I tell you about this one? This one called for like long ties. I didn't really want to put long ties I just always get nervous about anything like that with a baby. And so I just did the little short ones so they can kind of hang down on the side. And this fits Adam perfectly too. Again, it's hard because you're trying to make something for a baby without, I didn't have him right there to try things on and so on, but I just lucked out. So this was a super easy, quick knit. I just did some chain stitch for the smile, duplicate stitch for the nose, and then used buttons. Here we go. For the eyes. And I really love how it turned out. It's fun because I was stuffing these little eyes, and I just used yarn ends that I had handy and stuffed it with yarn ends. So he's gonna have a little like onesie outfit that's in green, and then he'll have his little froggy slippers and his little booties And this little froggy hat, I like that because it's a fun, cute baby costume, but it's not uncomfortable for the baby. It's cozy and squishy and comfy. So that was a really fun hat to make, and I'm happy that those are done now so I can give them to her and she can finish up the rest of their costumes and so on. I'm not quite sure if they're doing a party, a costume party, or just neighborhood trick-or-treating, or what the plan is there. But those are the two finished objects I have. Okay, let's talk about works in progress. So I got this beautiful fall bag from my friend for my birthday, and it is from Adore Knit. But isn't it pretty? Here, see if there we go. It's a good one. We always joke in my house because I love fall decor. I'm not super into Halloween decor, although I'm getting more interested in that, just cutesy stuff, right? But I have lots and lots of fall decor, and pretty much anytime you look at, like, again, Hobby Lobby or craft stores or home stores or Etsy or anything, you can find so many things that say thankful, grateful, and blessed. And so my kids are always joking about that. Mom, does it say thankful, grateful, or blessed on it? Because if it doesn't, you can't have it, right? And this one has thankful and blessed right there. So I showed it to my daughter, Abby, and she thought that was great. Anyway, it's super cute. It came with this cute little oh, you can't probably see it. Progress keeper. Let's see if I can get it to focus on that. Oh, turn over. Here we go. No, come on. Here we go. There we go. It's like an enamel little fall leaf. Anyway, I am making socks for my son for Christmas. Now, my son Isaac is I think I've talked about this before on here, but both him and my son-in-law Michael are the most enthusiastic people about my hand knit socks. And they both wear men's size 12 extra wide shoes. So it's an investment in my time to knit them socks, but they love them. Love them, love them. And Isaac his favorite color is orange. And he really loves like a burnt orange and autumn colors. He and I are all of my family, pretty much except for my husband, is just autumn is the best season. My husband we tease him that he needs a lizard rock. He is a heat-loving animal. And so when it starts to cool off, and I can understand that because he's a mechanic. And when you're a mechanic, you're working on cars. And when it's winter, those cars are covered in snow and grime from the roads. And they're wet and drippy. And the big bay doors of the shop are constantly getting opened and closed and left open, depending on who's there. And so he has to deal with the environment much more than I do. I mean, I'm home in my cozy house. So why wouldn't you like winter, right? Why wouldn't you like fall? Because if it's cold, you just go inside, and that's different for him. So I really understand that. But anyway, I digress. Isaac and I are fiends when it comes to autumn. We are like the giddy, we freak out. So I am doing some autumn colored socks for him for his birthday, for Christmas. This yarn is a sock set from Yarn Cafe Creations. And the two colors, I think I might have shown this yarn before. The orange is Spicy Citrus, and then the body is Cinnamon Pumpkin Latte. I did because this came with the bag, and it was also a birthday gift. So that is what I'm working on. And look at that cute Progress Keeper. That is from Lacey at Little Robin Cottage. Oh my gosh, I love her. She has so many pretty autumnal things in her shop right now. Anyway, so I am working away on these. For Isaac, I do a long tail cast on, but I make sure to space my cast on stitches out to give him a good amount of stretch. He has tree trunk legs, and so he really needs room in that cuff. And I am knitting a 72 stitch count for him. For these, I did 25 rows for the cuff. I am going to be doing 90 rows, nice long leg, for the leg. And so these will be some chunky, these will use up all the yarn. I say chunky, why am I saying? It's gonna use up all the yarn. In fact, I'm probably going to get about halfway down the foot for this, and then I'll weigh my skein to make sure I stop when I'm getting to that 50%, a little under 50% of the skein used, so that if I need to make a longer toe, I can do that. I'm planning on knitting the heel in the same color, the same main color, and then doing the toe in that contrast color again. But this yarn just screams Isaac's name. And I've managed to keep these so he hasn't seen them. So I'm doing a primarily handmade Christmas this year. There will be some things, especially like books. I always do books for my children. We are always working on building our libraries. That's really important to us. I have these bookcases, of course, that you see, but I also have 3 more large bookcases in my family room down that way, and my kids have bookcases in their rooms. So, and when my children, like my older children, got married, I loved that they could already had the beginnings of a good library. And so we primarily focus on classics or specific areas of interest. So I will definitely be getting books. However, most of what I'm doing is handmade. That doesn't mean all knitting, because I am a human being and I can knit fast, but not that fast. But I am doing handmade gifts for everybody that I'm giving to this year. So some of them are already finished, but here's another one. I'm super excited about my Christmas makes, actually. Really excited. I'll probably do a podcast all about that, and that way I can make sure my mom doesn't watch it or my sister. Don't watch. Okay. My next work in progress is my Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. And I haven't finished Clue 2. Clue 3 came out this morning, and I've just barely peeked at it just to see what the first step is. I am one of those people, when I'm reading, I don't even let my eyes drift to lower in the page or scan to the next page. I want to get the story in exactly the way that the writer intended it to unfold. So I am very anti-spoilers. So I don't look at spoiler photos. I don't look ahead in the tutorial videos. I don't read ahead in the pattern. I just look at my next step for this, because it's all about the mystery unfolding, right? And so, with that acknowledged, if you also don't want spoilers about Clue 2, then don't watch this. All right. So as you know, I kept the original Clue 1. So this shawl is including original Clue 1. And so here is where I am right now. So Clue 2 had us, so we have our original square, and then taking those live stitches from 2 sides and starting to work this direction, and then doing the same thing on the other end. So this is the side that I have finished Clue 2 on, and we did these stripes that involve eyelets and reverse stockinette. Really pretty. And then I am about halfway done with the section on this side. And I did this all yesterday, so I'll get caught up really fast. I was focusing on those little froggy booties and hat. And I also am reducing my knitting time, at least until I can get some good mental boundaries. And so I just haven't had as much time. Plus, my arm has been really bothering me. You know, sometimes you just get that muscle fatigue because you're doing too much of a good thing. So yeah, my right arm all up in these tendons here is just, it's not super happy. So yesterday I had to just put it all away. So anyway, that's where I am, is working on that. I really love those fun eyelets and that reverse stockinette. And I really like how this is going. I think this is my guess. That is one thing I like to do, is I like to guess. So again, if you're watching a movie, I don't want spoilers, but in my head, I'm going, I think this is what's going to happen. But I think we're heading to a rectangular wrap shape. Come on. Because we've now started doing I-cord all along the edges here, which is a very Stephen West way of edging your finished project. And it's now they're staying straight here. So I think that, and that's the same on this side. And that's not what I'm trying to show you. That's what I'm trying to show you right there. Anyway, so I think we're going into now a rectangular shape. I don't know if we're going to end up with chevron ends, what's going to happen on the ends, but that seems to me where we're headed. And look at how cute these little needle stoppers are. They're little foxes. They're so cute. I think these are also from Little Robin Cottage. So they are really fun. So I have my one end, instead of the way he designed the pattern, he always says you need a spare needle. I'm just working with 2 sets of the same needle so that I can leave one on the one end, and then I just switch which end has the stoppers on it. If it's the end that's on hold, then I put the stoppers on. If it's my working end, then they're just live stitches ready to roll. I have not been doing the Weave and Stephen version of weaving in your ends. I am not a big fan. I find that I feel like it's fiddly to do, and I don't think it's terribly secure. It's probably secure enough, but I just don't like the look of it, honestly. I feel like it's just really visible. Now, that being said, is my weaving in method less visible? I mean, here's my wrong side. And so I've got ends woven in all along this edge. I think where, like here, you can definitely see that. But, you know, it's not perfectly invisible. But I am trying to do a version that's fast enough that it's doable. So Clue 1 had 96 ends. Clue 2 has 48. So we're talking, is that 48? Is that right? 12. Am I telling? Maybe it's 24. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 48. So there's 48 ends. So we're talking significant amounts of ends to weave in this project. And if I am going to be able to do that, I have to do it section by section. So I will knit one of the sections, weave in the ends. And I am using a sharp needle, and I'm kind of weaving in and then weaving back, but I'm making sure to pierce the stitches in both directions just to give me that extra bit of security so that I know that those ends aren't going anywhere. Anyway, and I think it looks decent. I mean, they're not completely invisible. This is the back side, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks better than the Weave and Stephen does. So that's just my own personal preference there. So much of what we do in our crafts is all about how do you like it to look, or how do you like the process? You know, you really have to, there isn't a right and a wrong way. You have to find the way that ticks the boxes for you. And for me, I needed the boxes that I wanted ticked were tidy, secure, and fast. And so I feel like that ticked as many of those boxes as it could. All right, that is where we are. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's going to be big and gorgeous. The colors are beautiful. I think I need to mention again, my yarns are Dandelion and Dogwood in Fairy Sock. So they're all sparkle, which is not showing up, of course, on the video. And here are, so there they are. And I don't know if they still have this up on their website, but they did have this as group 1, which I have to say I get credit for, because I picked these 4 colors and then they put them on their website. That's because they're my friends. Anyway, so this is my A, B, C, and D, and I just rotate through. I kind of rotate my little basket as I'm going. So that is what is going on. Again, I'm dropping things. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with dropping things this morning. Let's see, anything else I need to talk about? I am leaving the testing call open for the Backcountry Shawl for just a couple more days. So if I'll put the link down below. If you are interested in test knitting the Backcountry Shawl, please fill out that test knit form. And then I will be choosing test knitters and sending out the information as soon as it's available. It'll probably be at least a week before that pattern is ready to go to the test knitters, but we're getting really close. And then that test knit will run through the end of the year and be published in January. And yeah, I have other designs in the works. I had one that I'm actually designing out of this exact same yarn, but I ran out and I had to order some more. So they are dyeing some up. But that's, you know what, that's going to be a while. I think that'll be a spring release. So it's not a big rush. It's just sitting to the side for now. And yeah, Christmas knitting and other things like that. So I will be back next week, and then I will be taking probably 2 weeks. Well, no, I'll be back in the next 2 weeks. So next week will be my last of my kind of weekly podcasting. And then the next week it'll be November. Oh my gosh, is it going to be November already? It will. Yeah, that is crazy. I just cannot believe how fast October is flying by. And I will be drawing for our winners for the shawl along. And then I will be probably going back to an every 2 week schedule for podcasting. But thank you for everybody who has joined me today. And thank you for all of your really lovely and supportive comments last podcast. I feel really, really grateful for the quality of people that come here and watch my podcast. I think that there's kind of this expectation that I think we start to get. If I put this out there into the world, into the public, I'm inviting whoever wants to comment, and you never know who you're going to get, right? And there's kind of an expectation, just wait for the negative, it's going to happen. And in the years that I've been podcasting, both at Meanwhile at the Castle and then here on this channel as well, I have been just blown away by how little of that my sister and I have experienced. I mean, there have been a few times, but generally just not a lot. And I am really, really grateful. I know not everybody has had that experience. So thank you to all of you for being safe people, for being people that care and that see me as a person and not just an entertainer, or I don't know. I don't know what the words are that I'm trying to find there, but I just have seen respect and kindness and positivity, and I appreciate that so much. So keep that going. Let's keep spreading that. Let's keep sharing that. Let's be that force that goes out and shares that positive, beautiful, light, bright, loving and joyful feeling with those we interact with. I mean, it doesn't take any extra work. It's so invigorating and rejuvenating to be that person. It doesn't take from you, it adds to you. Let's just keep it going. So thank you. I just have to say that. Okay, I am gonna wrap this up, and I will see you in a week with some more fun projects and hopefully some more Christmas knitting that I get to share. And until then, have so much fun with all the things that you are making, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.